Coming up on Mountain News this morning, July 2022, flood survivors with new homes are embracing the cold in a new way thanks to the HDA. And elk are flocking to the roads in the cold weather, causing multiple crashes in eastern Kentucky.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Madison Carmouche. We're at 6 o'clock this Thursday morning and let's check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmall for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, it's almost Friday, but that means something else in the forecast.
It does mean something else. As you're approaching your Friday, you have that snow chance, and I, for one, am not ready for it just quite yet. But you have to get through today's cold temperatures before you can get to tomorrow. So here's what you can expect as you're heading out the door this morning. Those feels like temperatures are quite frigid, especially as you're traveling towards Wise. They have some elevated winds this morning, making those temperatures feel quite chilly. They're looking at a -2 degree feels like this morning. 5 degree feels like in Logan, 7 in Ashland, and 8 degrees feels like temperature in Middlesboro. And as we're going into the forecast highs for today, you can expect the upper 20s, hitting 30 degrees in Harlan and Middlesboro, and right at that freezing mark in Jacksboro today. And as we're looking at that satellite and radar, well, there is a little bit of a snow chance this morning, but it is tapering out and heading on its way out of eastern Kentucky for some sunny skies this afternoon. Madison.
All right, Megan, thank you. Folks here in eastern Kentucky are no stranger to Mother Nature's wrath. We talked to one family who lost their home during the July 2022 flood, but now they are braving the cold a little easier thanks to a home built to handle the elements. WYMT's Caroline Mueller explains how the Housing Development Alliance constructed the homes.
The Housing Development Alliance builds homes with extra insulation and energy-efficient designs to handle harsh winters. For families like Melissa Nieces, it's been life-changing.
Last year compared to this year, I don't even know. It's just so different.
HDA homes include double the required insulation, sealed air gaps, and efficient heating systems, cutting utility costs dramatically.
A number of people will call us right after they move in and say, before in the old place I was renting, my electric bill was $400 a month, and now in my new home it's $61. And I can't believe how much savings that is.
For families like the Nieces, an HDA home is more than a house. It's a chance to thrive, even in the harshest winters.
I've not had the stressful aggravation of, having to worry about keeping warm, like I said, or calling somebody to bring me a heater, or, anything like that, or even worry about the electric going off. It used to always make me scared, how the girls and I would keep warm, and, what if the electric did go off in the campers and it was cold already.
The Nieces are just one of more than 30 families who are in new homes built by HDA after the July 2022 flood. Officials say there are still more homes planned throughout the region. In Hazard, Caroline Mueller, WYMT Mountain News.
You can find more stories about flood survivors receiving new homes and how you can request help from the HDA at WYMT.com. The WYMT blood drive with the Kentucky Blood Center wrapped up yesterday, but it's never too late to help save a life. We spoke with one past recipient, Joetta Bentley, about how her transfusion inspired her. She says her life was forever changing after becoming a blood recipient nearly 20 years ago, when she broke her femur and needed 2 pints of blood. Now she is a phlebotomist with the Kentucky Blood Center and is grateful every day to work there.
It's just such a heartfelt feeling just to see people come out and care about donating blood to help others.
The KBC will host a blood drive at Alice Lloyd College and Pippa passes on Thursday, January 23rd. That will run from 10 in the morning until 3:30 p.m. at the Cushing Hall Auditorium. And on Friday, January 24th, there will be one at First Baptist Church in Salyersville in Magoffin County, going from 1 in the afternoon until 5 in the evening. Those who donate will receive a free sweatshirt while supplies last. The Breaks Interstate Park is reminding drivers to beware of the region's elk this winter. Park Superintendent Austin Bradley says there are more than 10 elk-involved crashes on the Coalfields Expressway that connects the Breaks to Southern Gap since the section of the road opened in late 2023. He says the elk are already used to the area and rely on the grassy areas near the roads to find extra sustenance in the winter. Bradley says those involved in those crashes say they did not see the elk in front of them until it was too late.
All the collisions have occurred at night, and we really encourage drivers, especially at night in foggy conditions. This roadway gets very foggy. We encourage them to slow down below 55 miles per hour and just be really vigilant, just simply because the elk are so hard to see in low light conditions.
Bradley says the elk also like the salt used by the road departments in the winter, so they are more often in the roads after crews hit the highways. The Kentucky State Parks Trail crew is hard at work maintaining trails damaged by the winter storm. The team cleared several downed trees. That means bringing their heavy gear to the top of Natural Bridge. Park officials say the frigid temperatures and more snow in the forecast, they urge visitors to use caution while visiting. Throughout the region, much of the ground is still covered with snow and ice. One doctor says wearing waterproof outer layers is important to preserve heat, and also wearing the proper footwear can help you stay on your feet. He stresses the importance of not trying to walk to your destination if your vehicle becomes stranded.
If you get out and you start walking, who knows where you may end up. You may slip, you may fall, you may get injured, and then it's a guessing game as to which way you went, and then it's basically going to take a lot longer to find you, right?
Dr. Schrum says if you do fall, monitor for symptoms like dizziness and confusion. He adds to continue checking in on family and friends as the cold and snowy weather continues.
Today seems like a quieter day compared to what we've had this week and what is to come. So let's take a look at that satellite and radar this morning. We do have just a tad bit of snow, but it is on its way out, and we will have some sunnier skies as you're heading into the afternoon. Just being able to see the sun for the first time in a while will be quite a nice change. Another thing to note if you're on the roads this morning is where that snow is, you could also be seeing some elevated fog chances, so that visibility will be on the lower side of things. 3-mile visibility in Hazard, 3.3 in Grundy, and another thing that you need to consider are those temperatures. We're still quite cold this morning. Look at those temperatures in the teens across the area. What those feels like even colder this morning. So make sure you bundle up if you're heading out. Madison.
All right, Megan, thank you. And thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. New fires continue to erupt as thousands of buildings are reduced to rubble in Southern California.